Welcome back to Serving Up Pitt, your go-to podcast for everything Pitt Panthers volleyball, brought to you by FanDuel. I'm your host, Abby Schnable, and today we've got a special treat. Kat Flood is currently playing in Peru, so joining me today is Pitt assistant coach Kamalani Akeo. This is her third season as an assistant coach, her sixth overall on the staff, and she played for Pitt from 2016 to 2018. She made history as Pitt's first ever ACC Setter of the Year in 2016, and now she's helping behind the scenes with this Panther squad. Kamalani, thanks for joining. How's it going?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Abby. Glad to be here and excited to talk about what's coming next for our team.
Yeah. So the NCAA tournament bracket is officially out, and the Panthers are not only dancing again, but they are again a number one seed for the third straight year, fourth time ever. We're going to break down Pitt's side of the bracket, preview first round matchups, highlight potential dark horse teams, and get Kamalani's insights on the Panthers' start to what they call their second season. So let's go ahead and serve up some Pitt volleyball. Kamalani, you've seen the whole bracket now. What are your initial impressions?
Yeah, so I'm going to be completely honest here. Uh, this is one of probably the lighter brackets that we've seen, at least for us. And so we are looking forward to the challenge always. But, in the past, 4 years, we've been matched up with Penn State, BYU, USC. And so not seeing one of those teams that have arguably some of the best players in the country in our bracket, at least for this first weekend, is huge for us. And I mean, ultimately, even being a top four seed, we were super excited. Our team has worked really hard for this, and it's never a guarantee with the committee. There are so many good teams out there that have top 10, that have top 25 wins. And so we are really excited about the work we put in and that we hopefully will be able to host for the next 2 weekends.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought that two seed was going to be Arizona State or Stanford, and I think SMU might be the toughest of the two seeds, which makes sense with Pitt being the fourth overall seed. But man, other than that, there's not a ton of heavy hitters on this quadrant.
Yeah, we were surprised a little bit too. When we were in the room watching, we were talking before, and we were betting on Stanford or Arizona State. And I think it was Dahlia maybe threw in like, "What if it's SMU?" Like right before they announced it, and then it was.
Love it.
Yeah, we were surprised.
Yeah. So you mentioned just this team's path. A late loss to Stanford probably made waiting today a little bit more anxious. But when you look back after the roster turnover you guys had from last season, starting 0-2, how proud are you of this group to have gotten to where they are and to maintain this kind of standard from the program?
Yeah, we know that this group has not reached their potential, and that's kind of what we've been pushing for all season. And so, we had those two losses in the beginning of season, but like you said, it was a new group. We were still trying to figure a lot of things out, and people that watch us have seen that too. We have different liberos coming in, we have different middles coming in, and pins at time. We had an injury, and so we we know that we're still on the climb. We know that we haven't peaked yet, but that's what we're excited for. And Stanford was a great test at the end of the season. Really, really nice for us going into the tournament because that's what we need to expect from every team. They're going to bring their best, and we're just hoping to streak together the best volleyball that you know Pitt volleyball can put together for the season in the next 2 weeks.
That's awesome. So, just to give a breakdown for anyone who hasn't seen the bracket that is listening to the other top seeds in this quadrant, Pitt's number one, and then you have SMU at number two, Purdue at number three, Minnesota at number four. So, two Big Ten teams there. Iowa State, who did beat Arizona State earlier this season, another Big 12 team at number six with Baylor. Rice as number seven, which was I always love when it's not necessarily one of a power conference team that breaks it in. And then Xavier as your number eight. Some other notable teams that are in there are Michigan and Florida, who is one of those four losses. But, just to look at this first weekend, you'll open against UMBC on Friday, and then winner, assuming that goes well, the winner of Xavier versus Michigan on Saturday. So what stands out to you about these two teams that you know already? Because I'm sure you haven't totally gotten to dive into the scout yet.
Yeah, so we actually know UMBC quite well. We know the coaches there. They're one of Coach Kellen's really good friends, and we do follow them during the season, and they do have a really good outside hitter, and they've been playing probably the best volleyball this at the end of their season. So they're going to be going in and putting forward their best foot and playing their best volleyball. And then assuming we get through that, it is a toss-up, we think, on who we're going to be playing. Michigan, we've watched a little bit more than Xavier, and they are a really good team. They're very well coached by Aaron Virtue. And so we don't know with that second game. It could be either. And so that does make it actually a little bit harder on us because we have to prepare the scout for both and take them both really seriously.
Yeah, you guys played UMBC to open up in 2023, if I recall correctly, but also played them last year. So that's got to be nice to have a little bit of the recency, even though there are turnover year to year on every team.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are the keys for Pitt to advance this weekend, regardless of who you're playing?
Yeah, so, I mean, I kind of mentioned this, but we are just trying to get better. We know we haven't hit our best, and in some ways you can see it specifically in the game against Georgia Tech. We are trying to serve tougher. We are trying to improve on our blocking, which obviously we had 18 blocks, and leading that charge was Abby Emch, who we've been seeing all season, but has really been making an impact defensively in the middle. And then we're trying to get our hitters to hit with mainly our outsides, Marina and Blair, to hit with a little more range. And so those are kind of the things that we're focusing on that you can hopefully pick out of our game and that are probably going to help us win this weekend.
This one is a question that I've been asked from the fans that I'm going to give to you. Is any chance we'll see Doc Maritz in the upcoming days?
Here's what I'll say. She is moving the best that she's been. And she is was before the injury, one of the best passers on our team. She is back. She is playing in the back row. So I don't know the 100% answer to that, but there's a chance, yes. She's an extremely good passer and defender.
I think it's funny that you mentioned, wanting to get better at blocking because, you're the 10th best team in the nation with blocks per set at 2.85. And Bree Kelly's, top 15 in that. So I think that just shows, the standard of this team.
Yeah, I think Abby, she's been putting in work all season, and she's honestly, I think, learning a lot from Bree and kind of taking that into her own game, including her celebrations. She's been having a little bit more attitude, really big celebrations. So look out for that too.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's great that not only Abby, but everyone is still haven't peaked yet. That's always, you guys, Fisher has said it so many times, we don't want to peak too early. So.
Right. It's the sneak peek. That's what everyone gets.
So looking at the region as a whole, I kind of gave the rundown of the top teams, but what stands out about the rest of the teams in Pitt's quadrant that we won't see, this weekend?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, even this weekend, Michigan or Xavier, we're not totally sure. Purdue is a really, really good team. They have been all season. Their right side is a lefty, and I don't know the exact stats, but she's one of the best in the country, definitely. SMU, obviously, with Malaya Jones and Avery Carlson, and then also Jaden Living's coming back. So we'll see who makes it out of that side of the bracket. And then Minnesota has had many injuries this season. And but I just watched their match against Wisconsin, and they're a really tough team, and they are well coached. Keegan Cook is one of Coach Fisher and Coach Kellen's really good friends. He's in the USA system, and so when you are coached well, it's just this. You always have to be a little bit more concerned, because they're going to play good volleyball and they're going to play hard.
I feel like the committee really wanted to sneak in one last potential ACC rivalry matchup. I think
of course. They always do.
It's usually Pitt and Louisville, but you couldn't get Louisville likely because of the loss that Stanford pulled out against them yesterday. I definitely thought it was going to be Pitt-Stanford, but I think there's more of a rivalry with SMU as of right now than Stanford, considering last season. But, you guys played them very early in the season and potentially have to play them to make it into the Final Four. I know we're looking ahead a lot, but what stands out about this SMU team as they've gotten better and better since you guys have played them?
I honestly, props to them and what they've done, especially with their starting outside being out the whole half of the season, and then also them losing one of their middles. And it's just they've been able to still be top 10 teams. And so that's a scary thing, especially because, they are ready to fight. They will give their all. They play really hard on defense and really serve tough. And Malia Jones, she's up there with, Olivia Babcock and the best right sides in the country. And so they're just a scary team, I think, because they just play with so much heart and so much intensity. And then they have one of their starting outsides who they've been missing coming back.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, obviously a lot of steps to get there, but it should be interesting these next 2 weekends. Let's zoom out a little bit and look at the other three briefly. Nebraska was the number 1 overall seed, then Kentucky, and then Texas. But I feel like those weren't surprises. But were there any other surprises that you saw throughout the bracket?
I mean, I didn't know where they were going to throw. Well, okay. So, like I said, SMU was a surprise. Stanford and actually Arizona State, we thought they were going to be a little bit higher. And I also feel for Texas a little bit because they're most likely playing Penn State in the second round. And we've had that draw many, many times. And they're the reigning national champions. No matter what their record is this year, they're a really good team. It's going to be really tough to beat them. So to see them that early is definitely a challenge. Who else have we got here? Oh, yeah, Nebraska side. I mean, they could be seeing, it could be Louisville. They could be seeing Miami.
Yep.
And Floor is just an amazing player along with Ariana. And so, I mean, we've seen what she's done all year.
Yeah.
40 plus kills per game. It's just unbelievable. So you just never know. It's like a wild card. Is she going to hit 300 and get 40 kills? So who knows? Yeah, on that end. I also think Kentucky has, they've got a tough road. Let's be honest here. They've got UCLA or Georgia Tech. So we'll see what happens there. BYU, who they're always in the tournament. Heather, who's their head coach. This is like her bread and butter. She's used to being there. Like, this is normal for her. And then USC is always scary. They're a really good team too. On that side as well, Tennessee versus Arizona State. Like, that is going to be an early game that everyone should look out for. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be head to head.
Yeah. And then this one I feel like kind of goes hand in hand. Dark horses that people need to watch out as a whole / teams that Pitt, you as a staff, are probably pretty happy that you don't have to deal with on your quadrant.
I mean, I mentioned it, but Penn State, because they're close. They've been sent to us a few times. Honestly, we thought we were going to get like a Tennessee, who's like a really good team. Who else do we got here?
I personally feel for whoever has to deal with Wisconsin and Texas A&M as their
that was going to be Texas A&M and Wisconsin. Those are going to be really tough. And same thing that I said just now, but they are used to being in the tournament. Like, this is what they do. This is when they show up. So it's always scary at the end of the season.
Well, at least you guys get to host all the way through until the Final Four at the Peterson Event Center. Last question for you, Kamalani, is what should fans expect from this Pitt group entering this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we're still trying to get better every single day. And so you will see that in how aggressive we're playing. And that goes for serving, like I mentioned, blocking in the front row and defense in the back row, and as well as our offense, our outsides matching, if not like giving Olivia a run for her money. Like we want to be hitting 300, and we want to be an extremely good defensive team, keeping teams under 150, and that's really hard in the tournament, but those are some of our goals. And so look out for us being really aggressive and us having big energy this entire tournament run.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a wrap on this special NCAA tournament reveal episode of Serving Up Pitt. Huge thanks to Kamalani Akeo for giving us the inside scoop on the team and what fans can kind of expect. The Panthers open the tournament against UMBC at 6:30 p.m. on Friday. We at the Post-Gazette will be following the Panthers every step of the way, so be sure to subscribe, follow, and tune in for all the post-match recaps, any features that I'll have. And thank you so much for listening. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.